I sat on the swing watching a spider build its web. The sun was several minutes away from starting a new day. This spider had chosen the bottom of the children's slide in the community park. Back and forth it went across the exit point of the slide. Almost 4 inches tall and 18 inches across. An engineering marvel. I admired the completed web. Such a complex creation built in one night. Isn't it amazing what can be accomplished if you remove the spreadsheet pushers from a project? The first child down the slide would test the spider's handiwork. You have to have a plan. The spider did, and he only needed it to work once to dine like a king for the rest of his life. All right, maybe his plan had some holes in it, but hey, nothing ventured, nothing gained. I'm rooting for you, buddy. My plan is about as ridiculous as yours, but I've got a plan too. Only the spiders and crickets heard my voice. Today was Monday, and it was day 1 of my plan. If things worked as planned, some night soon, we would see the last domino fall. My name is Blake Fall. I married Shauna soon after we graduated from the University of Michigan. We both found work in the suburbs of Detroit. Our past is unspectacularly boring. The typical college students find each other, try others, and then find their way back to each other. I'm somewhat insecure, and that leads me into the land of jealousy. I can be a real jerk to Shauna. If I don't like how she dresses or acts in public, I blast her, sometimes in public. It's not like she doesn't know where I'm coming from. We talked endlessly about actions and consequences. In spite of my shortcomings, Shauna agreed to marry me. No problems, right? I wish. Shauna and I are avid pistol shooters. We've taken all of the courses. The defensive pistol courses, the NRA basic pistol course, and the courses required to acquire a concealed carry permit. We do the shooting tournaments at the indoor range. Shauna has won the Annie Oakley Award, which is the best female shooter, more than once. I'm not bad, but not nearly as good as she is. There are mostly great areas to live in the suburbs of Detroit. There are a few where I rest a little easier knowing she is armed and capable. We still attend many games, football, basketball, and baseball. I played all 3 sports in high school, but focused on my studies once in college. Well, that and the fact that I'm nowhere near talented enough to compete at the collegiate level. The previous Thursday. Greg slammed his fist down on his desk. Oh, hell, it'll take me forever to get home. I perked up and turned toward him. How do you know that, Greg? He gestured at his screen. I'm looking at the traffic cam at the junction of Highways 7 and 82. There's a pickup truck on its side and a car on its top. No way is that going to be open tonight. You should see this. I wandered the path from my cubicle to Greg's cubicle and gazed at the screen in his notebook. My stomach cramped. Standing with the paramedics, gauze wrapped around her skull, was Shauna. At least I think it's her. She has a very distinctive tattooed left arm from the shoulder to the wrist. The people on the cam were a little too small to confirm my suspicions. Apparently her flight to Chicago left without her yesterday. The truck on its side was familiar to me. I just couldn't put a name to it. I leaned closer to the screen. Can you get snapshots of that crash? Greg nodded but kept his eyes on the monitor. Only until I change cams. I can save the video from the time I started watching this cam. You can create snapshots from it. What has your interest? I stared at the wreckage, a strange sense of familiarity creeping in. I think I recognize that truck. I need to search my memory banks, but I know it. Greg captured the video and emailed it to me. After zooming in on the frame, I'm almost positive that's Shauna. The phone call last night was complete nonsense. Uneventful flight, nice room, meetings went well, miss you, busy day tomorrow, late flight, don't wait up for me. I was completely distracted on my drive home. What kind of fool have I been played for? How is it that I know that truck? I went through the whole cast of characters, close friends, family, neighbors, not even a hint of a match. The blue and yellow stripes on the truck haunted me. Who is it? Shauna's call came around 7 p.m. I let it go to messages. Hi, babe. Bad news. My cab to the airport was in an accident. I'm okay, but I did sustain a gash across my forehead. Long story short, I missed my flight. I'll let you know when I know. Love you. Call me. My heart hasn't stopped racing since I first saw that picture. The complete betrayal has my stomach in knots and flames shooting out of my ears. Try as I might, I couldn't eat. The emotions unfolding were killing me. Having realized my marriage was a sham, I wanted revenge on both Shauna and her lover. I spent the next few hours going through the house. Trying to find something, but not knowing what I was looking for, was frustrating. Simmering rage fueled my search. Nothing caught my eye. My next step was to go through our credit card statements. Since Shauna travels at least twice a month, I figured there had to be some kind of slip-up in her purchases. In a sense, I was right. Cross-checking her travels with her credit card usage, every other month one of the trips had no credit card usage. On those trips, the only charge was for the parking lot at the airport. She uses her business credit card for tickets, hotels, and rides. Everything else is put on her personal card, and she submits an expense report. I'm supposed to believe that she paid cash or just didn't eat on those trips. With what I saw on the traffic cam, I knew better. She was taking a 2-day love fest under the guise of a trip. I had to find out with who. Hell, that's a no-brainer. I'll ask for a copy of the traffic accident report. Shauna keeps a filing cabinet with her important papers. I wondered if her expense account submissions were in there somewhere. She is so organized it only took a few minutes to locate the appropriate folder. Another minute to confirm that the trips without credit card usage were not being reported on her expense account. I wanted to get drunk but knew better. Does it matter how long it's been going on? Not really. Hers is a cold, calculating betrayal. My revenge will be crafted to match the depth of her deceit. In the divorce, I'll be fair. What choice do I have? She'll get her 50%. Prenuptial agreement? Yeah, right. I wish. She'll get her 50%. Sleep came slowly, and coffee was taking longer to get my engine running in the morning. When I turned on my phone, there was a message from Shauna that she would be home later today. I went to work without attempting to get back to her. After scanning the internet for divorce advice, I took stock of our joint accounts. I would need to open an account in my name only. The brokerage account was going to be a little tougher. No way to move positions, so I sold enough to reach the 50% mark. I'd come back once those have settled and transferred my half out when the time was right. The house was virtually underwater, so there was no need to do anything. Not wanting to tip my hand, I didn't talk with any of my friends, family, or co-workers about my upcoming divorce. At lunchtime, I acquired a copy of the police report for the accident. No doubt about it now. There she is listed as the injured passenger in the pickup truck. The name of the owner of the truck, Ray Stronzo, was not one I recognized. It still baffled me how I thought I could recognize that stupid truck. At least I had an address of where her lover lived. It was 3 blocks from where we lived. A quick online check produced the deed on the address. Loverboy owned it with Jill Stronzo. I'd guess that's his wife. Other web pages I found gave some personal information for both Ray and Jill. It looks like both of them attended the same high school as Shauna. When Shauna called around quitting time, I figured I'd better answer or she'd know something was wrong. You're back. I've been trying to call you since last night. Is everything okay? She asked. I'm surviving. I did find my phone powered off this morning and again around lunch. I guess I should take it in and get it checked out. How was your trip? It was fine until the cab ride. I'll have to cake the makeup on to hide this cut on my forehead. Take a girl to dinner? She asked. Sure, someplace light. I don't have much of an appetite. Choose a place and I'll meet you there. I took the long way to the restaurant. Driving by the Stronzo residence, I did not see the truck out front. There was a flag dangling from the porch that clued me in. A University of Michigan flag. This is the truck we see when we are tailgating at the Michigan football games in Ann Arbor. That's why there are blue and yellow stripes on the truck. We always head to the same area for tailgating, and the Stronzos did the same. I just assumed he and his wife were friendly to everyone. At dinner, I really did, but Shauna could tell something was wrong. Is there something bothering you, Blake? You seem really distracted tonight. A lot on my mind. Don't let it bother you, I replied. When Shauna started the nightly ritual of makeup removal, I crawled into bed and feigned to be asleep. Shauna was naked when she slid into bed and snuggled. All I had to do was imagine her betrayal, and I remained limp. She shook me a little but abandoned her amorous advance. Shauna was sound asleep when I left for work in the morning. I tore through her car and found a cell phone hidden in the back seat cushions. Powering it on and scrolling through the texts solidified it for me. Shauna and Ray have been going at it for months, if not longer. One text in particular sent me off the deep end. Well, kids, I'm not sure what your punishment is going to be, but there will be a price to be paid. I'm not a violent man. I can't see myself doing anything physical to either of them. Some creative thinking was required. I decided an appointment to talk with an attorney would be detrimental to the plan I had in mind. I was going to be completely blindsided when she admitted her affair. If my plan comes to fruition, I'd have to act quickly to protect what I could. I bought what I needed and spent the weekend avoiding Shauna. She wanted to make love on Saturday, but it was simply me climbing on, getting off, and quickly falling asleep. Shauna tried again. Sunday night, I again held on to the image of her betrayal, and she failed to excite me. Frustrated, she gave up, and we drifted off to sleep. I got up early Monday morning and spent some time in the park. I needed to make certain this was the path I really wanted to take. Thinking back to that text message convinced me to proceed. From the perspective of Shauna, I thought I had things under control until that phone call. Monday mornings are always a busy time at work. I handle several calls an hour. I jumped on the call when my office phone rang. The caller ID showed private. This is Shauna. I know what you're doing with Ray. I want in on the action. The quiet voice was that of a male. The voice had an annoying, higher nasal pitch. He disconnected before I could respond. My mind was racing. Hell, I've been found out. I wasn't myself the rest of the day or that evening. One of our nightly activities was sharing a cup of hot tea. It seems to relax both of us. Blake always fixes it just before bedtime. Blake seemed concerned. Are you sure you're okay? You're really acting like you're bothered by something tonight. I'm fine. Just some stuff at work that's making me angry. I need to think about other things. Know anything that could keep a girl busy for a while? I came to the conclusion that I wasn't going to be blackmailed. I'll wait to see what the response is. I had nightmares about Blake finding out. Talking to myself convinced me to stop seeing Ray anymore. This is Shauna. The same voice as before answered. Ready to come please me? No, I'm not, I replied, and this time I hung up. Not more than a minute later, another call came. This is Shauna, I answered. Both of you snore. You wore a blue teddy last night. You sleep on the right side of the bed. You wore no panties, so I got a nice picture of your body. I doubt he heard my gasp as he hung up after he made his statement. I raced down the hall and puked in the first open stall. There was a small envelope pinned under my windshield wiper when I found my car after work. I cried for 30 minutes after seeing the picture of my body that was taken last night. He was in my bedroom. I felt violated. What have I gotten myself into? That night at home, I busied myself paying bills and organizing things for taxes. How did he sneak in during the middle of the night? Is this a friend of Ray? Is this an enemy of Ray? It isn't a voice I'm familiar with. I'd remember that annoying sound. Blake, do you think we can put a latch on the outside doors? I asked. I guess so. What makes you bring that up? He replied. Just hearing about recent home break-ins. I don't want someone getting into our house when we're home, I answered. I'll put in on the honey-do list. I did not get a good night's sleep. Every little creak that the house made startled me. I struggled to come to life in the morning. It didn't take long for my nightmare to continue. Another call came in. "This is Shauna," I replied. The voice I'd been dreading replied, "Nice pair of pajamas last night. No body shot for me. Ready to be my love woman?" "Who are you? What do you want?" I asked. "You know what I want. Have you ever tried restraints? Your place or mine?" he answered. "Come to my place, jerk. I'll blow a hole the size of a tennis ball in your chest," I roared. There was no response. I asked for and received a 2-hour lunch break. I was a mess. Who can I turn to? I've kept my affair with Ray a secret from everyone. That's not right, is it? Everyone except for at least one stalker. Blake and I had intimacy again. Now I'm wondering if he knows something. He's not acting like it, except we aren't making love anymore. Maybe we haven't made love for a long time. I've been so preoccupied with having intimacy with Ray that I guess I may have let my home love life slip. Only getting a couple hours of sleep is starting to take its toll on me. "Blake, I think I'm coming down with something. I'm going to sleep in the guest bedroom so you don't get it." No, with my back I'll move. I like the stiffness of the guest bedroom's bed. I'll sleep there," he answered. "Blake, I've been having some nightmares. I'm going to keep my gun with me at night. Make a lot of noise before coming into the bedroom." "Will do. I don't need Annie Oakley doing a number on me. Why don't I put a handle that locks on the bedroom door? I'll put it on the honey-do list. Sleep tight." Now I'm really wondering if Blake knows something. What's this sleep tight stuff? He always used to end his good nights with "love you." When was the last time I heard "love you"? After Blake went to the guest bedroom, I pushed a chair up against my bedroom door. I put some trinkets on the windowsill and slid my gun under Blake's pillow. Hopefully, if my stalker shows up tonight, he'll make enough noise to wake me and I'll blast his back. Another call came in. "This is Shauna," I replied. "Well, I dropped by, but I don't see a hole in my chest. Nice trinkets. I took a few of them. With Blake in the other bedroom, maybe I could drug him, then you and I can have a lot of fun. That headboard should work just fine for the handcuffs." He hung up before I could react. I raced home for lunch and 3 of the trinkets were missing. I hurled in my own toilet. What in the hell have I gotten myself into? If I go to the police, Blake will find out about my affair. What choice do I have? I have to tell someone. I'm not going to be some stalker play toy. Ray wanted to get together this evening, but I begged off. I have a burner phone I keep in my car and I use it to communicate with Ray. I told him we need to chill for now. His texts indicated his displeasure with that decision. I don't know if my stalker found me by following Ray. I'm so scared and confused. Should I just submit to him? Where does it end? Maybe I should tell Blake and get his help. My poor performance at work has been noticed by my immediate supervisor. I got the standard pep talk. That is so embarrassing. I've never needed one before. I could feel the eyes and hear the snickering as I headed to his office. I cried for an hour before Blake came home. I cleaned up and put a little fresh makeup on before joining him for dinner. After stringing some bells on the window and door, I felt a little safer. Try sneaking in now, pervert. Friday morning, I did my best to be productive. That only lasted until his call. "This is Shauna," I answered. "Nice touch with the bells. You had me worried for a minute, but you slept right through it. Did you see that I emptied your handgun and put the bullets on the windowsill? I returned your trinkets too. Are you ready now?" "I need Blake. I can't do this alone. If I tell him, I may have to do this alone anyway. What a mess. The weekend can't come soon enough. At least he won't be able to torture me at work. Hell, what if he plans on doing something to me this weekend?" I'd been in no mood for intimacy, and Blake was perfectly happy avoiding me. With a trip scheduled for next Wednesday, I didn't know whether to take it or cancel it. When is the bastard planning on coming for me? Is he sick enough to follow me on the road? Blake was sound asleep when I finished my shower on Saturday morning. He never sleeps late. I shook him repeatedly before he groggily came to life. He sat up and looked somewhat dumbfounded at me. "Wow, am I ever out of it today? What time is it?" "Almost 9. Are you feeling all right?" I replied. Rubbing his neck, he flinched. "What in the hell? I've got a sore spot on my neck." I looked, and there was a spider bite or similar on his neck. "Looks like you got bit. Let me get a patch for you." The rest of the morning was filled with normal weekend chores. Blake headed out for some Jamba Juice around lunchtime. My cell phone rang, and the caller ID was private. My mother hid all of her calls, so I answered. "Hello," I answered. "I tried my tranquilizer dart on Blake last night. I see he's still alive, so I think we're good to go. I'll bring some KY for you." I hit the end. I was shaking and my legs were weak. Try as I might, I couldn't contain my stomach. I sprayed half a can of deodorizer to fully hide the evidence. I have to tell Blake. I can't keep this up. I can't tell Blake. I'm so confused. Why did I ever do this? My head was spinning. All of this drama for what? Some monkey intimacy. It's not love. Hell, Ray was never that great even in high school. What the hell was I thinking to ever get involved with him? Sunday was no better than Saturday. Every time my phone rang, my blood pressure spiked. When I answered the private call, he was there again. Blake was in the backyard working on the mower. "Hello," I answered. "Time's up, Shauna. Next time you're alone, you are mine." The connection was gone before I could respond. I was sweating and shaking. Sooner or later, I'll be alone in the house. I can't take this much longer. The day dragged on. I was nervously watching the clock. I did not want to go to sleep tonight. Just before bedtime, my world turned on its side. "I've got to run back to the office. I shouldn't be gone for more than 90 minutes, Blake answered. "Please don't go, Blake. Can't it wait until the morning?" I asked. "I won't be gone long. See you in a bit." I made sure all of the doors and windows were locked. After closing the bedroom door and enabling the bells, I sat on my bed with the lights on. Grabbing the gun from under the pillow, I checked the magazine and confirmed it was loaded. My heart started pounding when I heard the floor creak. Panic set it. I vacillated, pointing my gun at the door and window. When the bell on the door dinged, I fired. I heard a groan and fired again and again and again. The door swung open and a body, dressed in black, slumped face down. I was trembling and looked down to see that I had peed in the bed. My shaking was so bad I had trouble using my cell phone. 911. What's your emergency? I just shot someone in my house. I've got a gun aimed at the body. I'm afraid to go near it. Try to stay calm, ma'am. Can you give me your address? 5 minutes later, although it seemed like hours, the first squad car arrived. A minute later, the ambulance arrived along with some paramedics. Within 30 minutes, the place was crawling with police. I wanted Blake. I needed Blake. Where the hell is Blake? In our state, we have a make-my-day law. Intruder in your home? Kill them as you see fit. If the intruder died, it was an open and shut case. The paramedics worked quickly to get the man to the hospital. He had lost a lot of blood but was alive. From the perspective of Blake. I told Shauna I was headed to the office. Once in the garage, I put on latex gloves. I found Shauna's burner phone in her car, copied the text that infuriated me, and then sent it to Ray. It was unchanged from what she had sent a few months ago. The time sent was almost exactly the same as before. I put her phone back where I found it. I pulled down the street and waited for her bedroom light to be the only one lit. I only had to wait a few minutes. I walked back and unlocked the front door. I hustled away and was at my office soon thereafter. We have lots of security cameras and I need my access card to get through the gate, into the building, and then into my office. I turned on my computer but just sat and wondered. Would it really work? Once I devised my plan, I bought a burner phone and downloaded the voice disguise app. I could sense the panic in Shauna's behavior that first night at home. Every night I would mix a sleeping sedative into her hot tea. Once down, she was out cold. That first night I repositioned her such that I could get a nice shot of her body. I printed it on our printer. The panic in her voice on day 2 was exactly what I was hoping for. Every night she was out cold so I could make lots of noise and she wouldn't stir. On Friday night I got up around 3 a.m. and used a safety pin to poke a hole in the back of my neck. Once I detected blood, I flushed the safety pin. Taking 3 sleeping pills, I was out quickly. I mulled over the text from a few months earlier that I had resent a while ago. He just left for the office. Get over here her for some love. You don't have much time. I figured my time to go home would be about an hour from now or when the police called. An hour meant the plan didn't work. The police would mean success. A call came in on my cell from my local government. "This is Blake," I answered. "Mr. Foley?" "Who is this?" I asked. "Sir, this is Sergeant Willis. There's been a shooting at your house. Your wife is unharmed, although greatly shaken. Are you able to come home and comfort her?" "I'm on my way. I should be there in 10 minutes. Don't you love it when a plan comes together? I arrived home to find the neighborhood flooded with red and blue blinking lights. Working my way past the sentries, I entered my house. Shauna leaped to her feet when she spotted me. She gave me a crushing hug and started sobbing. Detective Sampson sat down across from Shauna and me. She was still sobbing and shaking. "Mrs. Foley, the name of the intruder is Ray Stronzo. Do you know him?" "Oh, God, no. Oh, hell. I'm so sorry, Blake. Oh, God." And started crying uncontrollably. "Sorry, Detective. My wife is obviously distraught about this whole thing. Give her a minute to compose herself." "All right, let's try this again. It appears you do know Ray Stronzo. Is that correct?" In a soft whisper, "We went to high school together." About that time, an officer tapped Detective Sampson on the shoulder and whispered in his ear. He stood up and left the room for just a minute. I did my best to look shocked when he returned and started talking. "Mrs. Foley, I'm going to take you in for questioning. Officer, please cuff her. Shauna Foley, you have the right to remain silent." When Miranda was finished, I asked, "What's going on, Detective?" "We found his cell phone. Your wife invited him over this evening. We've got some investigating to do." "What the hell, you cheating woman?" "Blake, I did no such thing. Please don't go. I need you. Please." I stomped out of the house without looking back. It was all I could do to hold back my smirk. I watched from the driveway as they led Shauna away. She was still pleading, "Help me, Blake. Please, help me." Not a chance. It's just a matter of time until they find your phone and the text you sent inviting Ray to come over. I made sure they locked up the house after the yellow tape was in place. I spent the night in a motel. In the morning, I grabbed a large decaf and headed for the park. It looked like my little spider friend was trying again. Don't stop believing, buddy. Even the most outrageous plans have a chance of working. Shauna used her one call to get her parents involved. The police secured a search warrant and found Shauna's burner phone. With a history of those burner phones talking and texting each other, it didn't look good for Shauna. My first call was to start divorce proceedings. Finances were identified and documented. Shauna would get her 50%, but I did not have to pay her legal fees for attempted first-degree murder. I took 50% in cash from our joint accounts. I opened an account in my name only and changed my payroll direct deposit to use that account. The brokerage account was easy as half of it was in cash. The divorce attorney got things going before Ray started any legal action. That was a good thing, he assured me. Once the yellow tape was removed, I packed up all of Shauna's belongings and dropped them off at her parents' house. I hired professionals to clean the house. My attorney accompanied me to the only questioning the police would ask me to attend. She was attempting to convince them that I set her up. That was the only thing that made any sense to her, as she was telling them that she did not send that last text message. When asked if they had cell tower information on her phones, they said that they did, and it matched my story and their assumption that she was a cold-blooded criminal. Apparently, Annie Oakley chokes under pressure. Only 2 of the 5 bullets had struck flesh. One ripped a hole, destroying a kidney. The other took a chuck out of his right ear. I guess I can live with that, although I was hoping for more out of all that pistol training. I watched from the gallery as she pled her case. She was being stalked, but told no one because of her affair. She never sent that text. My husband must have known and framed me. The press learned that she had been offered a plea bargain. I guess her overconfidence in her ability to handle a situation got the best of her again. Guilty. 20 years. I didn't wait until the divorce was granted to start sleeping around. There are many groups willing to help out the humiliated husband once the wife is serving time. Shauna's assets were depleted rather quickly fighting for her freedom. I was not on the hook, and even if Ray tried to sue, there were no joint assets with any significant value. Paying through the nose to get a moral victory made no sense, so no lawsuit ever materialized. I really do need to get some help on how to deal with the jealousy thing. And so, we've reached the end of today's story. Was it what you expected, or did it take a twist you didn't see coming? I'm curious to hear your thoughts. Share them in the comments below, and let's get a conversation going. If this story kept you hooked, make sure to hit that like button. And if you're new here or just haven't subscribed yet, now's the perfect time to join our community. I bring you fresh, captivating stories every day, so click that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss out. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.